Hello my dear friend, welcome back to my channel. This is Juni's Plan With Me. It doesn't feel like fall in California yet, but I can't wait to do this autumn theme and share it with you guys. So for my November bullet journal setup, let's take a walk in the forest together and say hi to the adorable squirrel. Last month, I tried out pop-up design on the cover page and weekly spreads and received so many lovely comments and amazing recreation from you. Thank you so much for your sweet words and positive feedback. Today, I'm going to bring another pop-up setup which is probably the easiest mechanic design, so I promise you can learn with no problem. By the way, I just received the art supplies I wanted to give away as 10k gifts to you, so stay tuned and the giveaway video is coming very soon. Without further ado, let's get started. In order to have rich color on the paper, I decided to use gouache this time. To be honest, I was a little bit nervous while filming this video because gouache is not the media I'm super familiar with. Even though I tried it before on my other spreads, I've never actually applied on the whole monthly setup. So today, please forgive me for the mistakes I'm possibly going to make as a new self-taught gouache painter, and you're also welcome to leave comments and let me know if you have good suggestions on learning it. The gouache I'm using is Arteza 60 color sets. I'll leave a link to it in the description box down below, and you can also get 10% off with my coupon code. Since we want the theme to have this warm and cozy fall feeling, of course the color choice needs to be more warm tone. So besides the yellow and orange as basic, here I also choose warm gray, brown, and light beige with a really soft grain. On the left side of the cover page, I pre-draw a wreath with pencil guide, and now let's color it, starting with this bright yellow. One thing I noticed through this monthly setup is that I definitely need more patience for this media. For me, gouache pigment is a little bit thicker than watercolor, so it's relatively hard to control since I'm used to the super soft and fluid texture of watercolor on brush. As for the color orders and leaves combination, I try to place two different types of leaves with obviously abstract color next to each other. Sorry, I don't know many art terms in English, and I know I'm pretty bad explaining, but basically like here, I arrange dark red with yellow to have more contrast, and when yellow and orange needs to be together, I add brown or green as a break, if that makes sense to you. Green is also a good helper to balance the overall color tone to make it still warm feeling but not too boring with only yellow and orange. Then in the center, I struggle a lot, should it be a calendar or just the title. Then eventually I decided to write November with the center blank because I'm going to add a gold heart here. Besides the heart, I also draw a few leaves to give it some gold element. If you're interested in the pen I'm using, it's a Japanese brand I'm not sure how to pronounce, so I'll leave the information and links in the description box as well as other supplies I'm using in this video. On the right side, I'm planning to draw a forest scene in season 4. But before jumping to the orange, let's start with light milk yellow as background, and adding more yellow as the second part, then slowly transit to orange. Gouache is really opaque compared to watercolor, so technically you can just overlay the color as long as the lower layer is dry. This is my first time challenging this 2D illustration style, so as you may notice, the edge between two colors, I couldn't deal with it so well, and there is some white space here and there, which I fixed after filming, so you'll see a better version at the final look. As well as some white trees in the far background I add in later. Then for the tree that is closer to us, I decided to use brown mix with a little bit red to give it a warm tone, as well as the one on the left side. Then for the rock section, I think I did a terrible job if this is a gouache tutorial video, but this is my first time painting rocks and I had an image in my mind how I want it to look like, so after adding more shades, it looked not too bad I guess. I'll keep working on the water later, but now let's add more leaves in the front. If you're not confident about the colors you pick, you can use internet to find a lot of good color palette online and use that as reference. Here I'm going to continue this warm orange-red tone, but also use some light yellow and beige to give it a break. As I'm coloring this page, I want to quickly mention that if you like this drawing and want to support this channel, I also made a digital version of it, which you can download from my Patreon website, as well as all other spreads, printable, and more bonus content. It will be a few bucks per month as subscription, and you're free to join and leave anytime you want. Your support will mean a lot to me and this channel. Last month, we have so many new Patreon members joining my community, and I'll do the special thank you shout out at the end of this video as always. We're almost done, just need to add more gold leaves on the two sides. Before making the pop-up section, let me clean up the edge with white paint really quick. And now it's time to work on the squirrel piece. I used the same notebook paper for this part last time, but it turned out not strong enough even though the paper is 160 GSM. So today I decided to go with 300 GSM watercolor paper. I barely had any experience with drawing animals except the cat and bunny because previous bullet journal theme. So drawing this squirrel is actually pretty challenging for me, and it also got me really into animal drawing. I'll probably do it more often in the future. What do you think? And now it's time to cut it out. I wanted to move diagonally on the tree branch, so here what I do is to mark the moving path and cut a long strap away. Make sure you don't cut it too narrow so the movement won't get stuck, but also not too wide, otherwise it will be unstable while moving. Then what you need are two pieces of long strap thick paper. It has to be thick paper, otherwise you'll have a hard time pushing it back after pulling. Then fold it like what I'm showing here. Glue the short one on the back of the long one and also glue the front with the extra piece left. Then put it through the path we just made earlier and glue our squirrel on it. Then put it in the furthest part and cut the extra strap away. Draw a half circle where it ends on both this page and the page behind. Oh, by the way, in order to hide the mechanic part, so this pop-up we need to use paper behind it. Remember to save it before monthly view page if you're also going to do pencil guide ahead of time. Now we can glue them together. Pay attention not to glue the stripe part. You want to give it enough space to move smoothly. Since the stripe will show up through the path here, I'm going to fix it and blend it in better in the background. So yeah, for the pop-up setup on my cover page, it is really simple and easy. You can apply it pretty much on any moving part you want to make. I hope this could inspire you to do either recreation or make your own design. Remember to tag me at JuniSunXiaomei on Instagram if you plan to post it, and I'd love to see your beautiful work. Now let's move on to the monthly view page. This month I decided to go back to the really basic calendar layout, also because I want to try this design for a long time. So I put washi tape to define the edge of the calendar and then start to draw all kinds of leaves around it. In order to have the sharp edge, for some leaves I draw them half blocked by the washi tape on purpose. Again, same method, I pre-think how the color gonna be distributed so the overall won't lose balance, and then paint them color by color. If you're not sure how I will end up with, you can also color them one by one to make sure. I also add in some mushrooms you may notice. Yeah, I forgot to draw it on the previous page, but it's okay. Instead of using darker color to draw the leaf veins, here I change it to use white marker to highlight it, which turned out not bad, especially on the dark color leaves. And then here comes my favorite part, peeling off the washi tape. It's not that satisfying to watch since there are a lot of blank between each leaf, but I still like it. On the left up corner, I write on November in this cursive font which I'll use for this whole month setup, and then start to work on the calendar box. I've been testing different types of layout, vertically, horizontally, or mini calendar style, and eventually realized this one works the best for me since I also use it as video schedule, which require quite some space to write down things. Here I'm using 6x4 for each day, and at the last week there are some space left, so I use it as note. On the next page, habit tracker and sleep log. I decided to continue this simple X and Y axis layout, but before that, let's draw some leaves and trees together, starting from the left corner. This time, I'm going to draw those leaves and decide the color one by one. If you don't have gouache, this design and color choice can be replaced with any other supplies you have. There is no limitation on what pen you're going to use. No matter it's color pencil, Crayola markers, or maybe acrylic pens, as long as you find the colors you like, it should work. Recently, I started to rethink the purpose of bullet journal. When I started doing it a year ago, I was definitely attracted by how you can design your own planner freely and add drawings wherever you want. That's why I've been trying different layout, designs, and art media every month. Even now, I still have a lot of ideas I want to try before settling down with one style. But come back to the core, I start to figure out the layouts that works the best for me, especially the habit tracker page. So if you're new to bullet journal, feel free to explore new things and enjoy the flexibility it brings to you. In the meanwhile, if you think this many pages of setup with art is too overwhelming for you, just go with some simple layouts you like. After all, the purpose of bullet journal is to help you to organize your life better. After writing down the dates, I realized I forgot to draw gold leaves in the previous page, so let me go back and add it really quick, as well as on the habit tracker page. Now let's move on to brain dump and mood tracker. For brain dump, since this month I only use half spread for it, I try to reduce the size of art I'm going to put on so I can have enough space for writing. By that, I mean maybe 2 acorns are good enough. Those 2 acorns are definitely not the best one I drew, but I just decided to let go and maybe fix a little bit with the white marker. As for the mood tracker, I had a few ideas, like to draw 30 leaves, or make it even harder for myself to draw 30 squirrels to represent 30 days. But eventually, I decided to go with this classic pie style, which I've never tried before. Without an angle ruler, I find it actually pretty hard to divide it perfectly, so yeah, I think I tried my best. Instead of the circle, I'm going to draw another forest scene, so let's start with placing the base color. Unlike watercolor, you can use water as media to blend different colors. Here I try to go back and forth with the brush to make it natural. It's not perfect, but I have to stop before breaking through the paper. Then for the legend, instead of a few simple happiness level, this month I'm trying something different, with more detailed description, but I have a feeling that I'll probably add more later. Now the background is dry enough, it's time to add in some trees. I take wet pigment directly from the tube so the color is dense enough, but still to cover the dark base, I need to do it multiple times. Then I add in some texture on the bark with brown and orange color. Also drop some white dots to represent grass. On the empty space, I write down "be happy" to remind myself not to be so stressful every day because I've been pretty busy and under a lot of pressure these days. Finally, it's time to do weekly spread. I'm preparing a video talking about different ways to use Dutch door, so here is one example that I've never used on my own journal before, but you probably saw it in my other videos where I set my husband's bullet journal. Well, I have to admit this is the quickest way to set up all 4 weeks and also leave enough space for writing to-do list. Here I cut away 6 dots on the edge and leave a 2x8 bookmarks for each page. I received some question about the wrong corner cutter. I'll make sure to include it in my bullet journal essential video later this month. After placing the washi tape, I start to draw all kinds of leaves, acorn, and mushrooms. As for the weekly layout, I evenly distributed the space into 8 sections and simply write down the dates and Monday to Sunday. There will be 1 extra Sunday in the first week, so here I skip the note section, but for the second and third week, I still keep it to make the layout more cohesive. On the last page, I also set up a whole spread for a monthly summary and next month's goal. You can also use it as a quote page if you want. And on the right edge, of course, we'll draw more leaves just like the left side. Okay, we're almost there. There's only one step left, which is to color the bookmark on both sides. In order to match the overall color theme, I choose to use light yellow, yellow, orange, and brown for 4 weeks title base, and then write down week 45 to 48 with a white marker. So yeah, that's all I want to share with you today. As I'm doing final flip through, I want to take some time to give special thanks to my new Patreon members. The list is quite long and it really surprised me for this month, so here we go. Thank you Karen, Susan, Emily, Joy, Nicolette, Sam, Abby, Grandpassaros, Sophia, Ubani, Raphael, Kobe, Melissa and Dee, Angelina, Ashley, Dala, Jennifer, Trudy, Amanda, Marielle, Felix, Nivelak, Michelina, Ariana, Marika, Wendy, May, Shu, Danielle, Carol, Bine, Suzanne, Deanna, Alicia, Marina, Nevelyn, Lena, Valerie, Kelly, Aniko, H.A., Kay, Alexandria, Canova, Princess Harbinger, Fauzia, Mayafi, Cindy, Amanda, Valerie, Cheryl, Nikita, and Abby. Thank you so much for your support and love. Being able to share my work to you and knowing that you love my creation really changed my life. Including every single one of you who's been watching my videos, you guys are the best and I'm so glad this community bring you to me. I'm planning to keep bringing more pop-up in the year 2021, so get ready and let's make our own pop-up bullet journal. If you like this video, please click like and consider subscribing. Also don't forget to turn on the bell so you can receive notifications when I upload new videos. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an amazing November.